Today we're down to contour 3, which I planted at the beginning of March and then got distracted by, I don't know, working down in the front gully, working at the back gully, working at the front. But I also had this cover crop here that needed to do its thing, and it's still got flowers on it. I'm actually thinking I don't want to chop it down yet. King parrots have not been here to have their fill. None of the flowers have been chewed on. Oh look, someone had a chew on this one. Good morning, bee. Seeing the bees, seeing that the sunflowers haven't been chewed on, I'm going to change my mind and not deal with this row today. However, one of the joys of a mixed cover crop with a creeping legume is that it decides to take over everything. So I will actually tidy up this side. My pattern has been that I have 3 metre wide beds with the fruit trees down the centre, chop and drop on the south and the vegetables on the north. I've done that for contour 1 and 2, but I'm wondering if I have enough annual vegetable garden space. I'm wondering if I don't bother putting annual vegetable bed here. If I did, jacaranda is going to have to go because that'd be in the middle of the garden bed. In fact, the garden bed would come out 1.5 metres from the apple tree. It would not quite come out far enough to include the tree. So yeah, the jacaranda would have to go because it'd create a mowing problem. Plus it'd create a shade problem for the vegetables, and it may or may not create a shade problem for the fruit trees. But that's what I'll do this morning. I'll tidy that up and free those plants from the cover crop legume. A couple of days later, I eventually got finished on contour 3 in my cleanup. I chose to leave the sunflowers here. There are still lots of bees hanging out, enjoying feeding at them, so I should leave them there for the bees. I dug the trench a little bit deeper, cleaned out the weeds that were overtaking the edges. This end was mainly crotalaria and a couple of different grains. And it was looking rather messy and it was falling over, and it was in danger of falling over onto these 2 apple trees. Now I can plant here some of the other plants that I have purchased for the purpose of chop and drop. While these sunflowers are still here, I will be able to plant my new chop and drop plants between them. Possibly 8 different plants I can plant along there. So that will eventually grow up and contribute to the organic matter in the soil here. This coffee plant has some lovely tomatoes growing from the bottom of it. I think that must have come from the worm castings from the worm farm that I put in the hole around the roots of the plant. Apple trees are doing okay. They were heavily attacked by aphids, but I've been putting worm tea and sea salt on them, and they seem to have fought the aphids off. Yeah, this one doesn't look so happy, but once again it's fought off most of the aphids. Maybe the spider's helping with that. There's a few spiders on that plant, but it's looking a lot healthier now. Pomegranate is doing its usual flower and drop the flowers thing. It has got some new shoots. Good morning. Welcome to the garden. Just love that layer of fog that just envelopes everything. Makes for a very dreamy landscape. Quite stunning. We have a clever creator. This morning I'm planting some plants which will act as chop and drop on my 3rd contour. There's number 1. There's number 2. And here's number 3. This is a list of plants I'm planting this morning. My criteria for choosing plants is that they grow, that they have lots of leaf, and that they're cheap. So all of these were on half price special on a discount shelf where I bought them. So some of these I got for $1. That is as cheap as I could buy plants anywhere. I've arranged them in largely small leaf so that we will have a variety of chop and drop coming down the line, so that one plant won't necessarily overshadow another. And when I look at them, I can tell which one is which. I'm going to plant them down this row now. Sun got up. So pretty. Well, the fog has lifted and we're all planted up. And there's my new chop and drop row, all ready to go. I did take out a few sunflowers just so I could actually get in there and swing the pick because it was very tightly packed. I've also added some more chop and drop, thank you jacarandas, to this side to build up the organic matter. And I think it always looks nice with a fresh load of chop and drop down. Weed it in the between, only as much as I need to. Good morning, Mr. Rooster.